The Doll's House by Rumer Godden. We'll go back to chapter 10 here. Toddy was not hurt. Such happiness flowed through her that she felt as though the sap of her tree had risen in her wood as it once had every spring and was running through her. Toddy was happy because the queen wanted to buy her, said the other dolls. She is happy because the queen couldn't buy her, Toddy could have corrected them. But what was it all about? Asked Toddy. Emily and Charlotte must have had a change of heart. That was as near as Toddy ever came to understanding the truth, and it was very near the truth. God bless the queen, said Toddy. God bless the queen. But March Payne was bitterly jealous. Chapter 11. Meanwhile, the Plantagenet family had moved into the doll's house. They had made it completely their own. Though the chairs were not ready yet and the lace curtains had not come, Mr. Plantagenet, Bertie, Apple, and Darner had settled down. The house was clean from top to bottom. There were new sheets and pillows. There were those mouse-sized pillows and nickel-brown blankets on the beds. Apple had his patchwork quilt, the carpets were nailed down, and their washing had made their colors fresh. Mine is pink as roses and apple blossoms and nail polish, sang Bertie. The rust had been scoured and scraped from the stove and pots and pans, and the seashells had been glued back again on the picture frames. No family could have been happier than the Plantagenets were now. Darner had his kennel to himself, and it was filled with real chopped up straw that Emily had begged from a stable and amused and cut up with her scissors. Apple had the whole house to play in, and he had learned the dangerous practice of somersaulting down the stairs. He wished that Charlotte would set him at the top, and then quite soon he would manage to overbalance and somersault down to the bottom. Bertie had her room with the pink carpet, and every morning she dusted it with her feather broom while she sang all the songs that she felt her bird in the birdcage would sing. Though what of her dusting and what was singing, Bertie sometimes did not know. "Do I sing with my hands and dust with my voice?" asked Bertie. "I might, I do not know, but I am happy, happy, happy." And she flicked with the feather broom and sang a trill. So happy, sang Bertie. Emily had made her a flyaway apron with embroidery cotton strings that were pink like the carpet. "My carpet," sang Bertie, "how I like pink. Tra-la, tra-la, tra-la-la." How different would the sound of Bertie's law be from the walking dolls. And Mr. Plantagenet was different. He looked heavier. The porcelain off his face and hands seemed brighter, cleaner. The checks on his suit seemed more clearly marked. His red ribbon tie more crisp. When he held his walking stick, it looked as if he would swing it at any moment. The house was a house to be proud of, well built, solid down to the last windowsill and up to the wooden chimney. It was a warm, gay, comfortable, and there was the lamp and its birthday cake candle for when it was dark. Emily and Charlotte often lit it, and when they had finished playing, they shut the front and left the Plantagenets safe inside. While Bertie dusted and Apple somersaulted on the stairs and Darner lay in his kennel, Mr. Plantagenet sat in the sitting room reading the little papers Emily made for him and thinking what it would be like when the new chairs and curtains came. For the moment he had to sit on one of the bedroom chairs. He was quite happy sitting in the sitting room, but he began to feel that if he were a real master of the house, he should, like father, go to the office. "I wish they would think of getting me an office," said Mr. Plantagenet. "I should like to go to the office very much." They had kept a place for Toddy. There was a bed waiting for her in the same room as Apple, the room with the blue carpet. Mr. Plantagenet slept with Bertie. Toddy's clothes were in the cupboard. Her red knitted cloak hung in the hall with Bertie's straw hat with the feather. Of course we are all waiting for Toddy, said Mr. Plantagenet. Tra-la, tra-la, I wish Toddy were here, sang Bertie. Then we could cook little pretending flower pies and 100,000 sweets. Do you know hundreds and thousands? They make good dollhouse sweets. If Toddy were here, she wouldn't let me somersault downstairs, but I wish Toddy were here, said Apple. It doesn't feel like our home without Toddy, said Mr. Plantagenet. Then his face looked stiff and he dropped his walking stick. Bertie, he said, suppose it isn't our home after all. Suppose we have made a mistake. They couldn't take it away from us, could they, Bertie? I don't understand, said Bertie, and she lowered her broom, and the embroidery cotton strings of her apron sank and were still. What do you mean? I don't understand, she said with a sound like a whimper. No, don't think about it. I was only joking, said Mr. Plantagenet quickly. Were you? It didn't sound like a joke. Don't think about it. You go on with your dusting, my dear. May I? Are you sure? Of course, Bertie dear, of course. Forget about it. Mr. Plantagenet soon forgot about it himself. He had discovered that when the birthday cake candle in the lamp was lit, the roses in the vase threw a tiny real shadow of themselves on the table. Chapter 12. The exhibition was almost over. Many people had visited it. It was a great success. Most of the people had taken notice of Toddy. What a love of a doll, they had said. But that is what they say about Apple, said Toddy. Oh, Apple, I long to see you again. Emily and Charlotte had been several times to visit her. Dear possession, thought Toddy, a great treasure. That is what Mrs. Innisfree and the Queen had said. Toddy could look them in the face now, happily. She doesn't look hurt any more, said Emily. And we never found out why she did, said Charlotte. That is the worst of dolls. They are such secret people. They showed Toddy a cutting from a newspaper. It gave an account of the exhibition. And the smallest doll is a 100-year-old Farthing doll lent by Emily and Charlotte Dane. If anyone had listened, they might have heard a tiny gritting sound. It was Marchpane grinding her china teeth. Emily and Charlotte had looked at Marchpane and admired her very much, especially Emily. They knew she had belonged to great-great-Aunt Laura, but they did not know she had lived with Toddy in the doll's house. Toddy was longing to go home, but the other dolls were, for the most part, sorry the exhibition was over. They would be packed away again or sent back to their museums. What is a museum like? Asked Toddy. It's cold, dear, said the walking doll suddenly. She sounded quite unlike herself. It is cold, dear. Nonsense. It is a grand and fine, said Marchpane. It is filled with precious and valuable things kept in glass cases. I shouldn't enjoy that, said Toddy, looking at Queen Victoria's dolls. How can you be played with if you were in a glass case? One wouldn't want to be played with, said Marchpane. When I was at the cleaners, people said I ought to be in a museum. It is cold, dear, said the walking doll again. It is grand and fine, said Marchpane. "'Sis very mess," said the walking doll. "Messes." Her voice sounded as if her words had quite run down. "I don't want to go back in my box," said the wax doll. "It is too dark and quiet. I wish—" She was thinking of the caretaker's child, who still crept out to look at her in the evenings when the people had gone. "I wish—" The last day came. Toddy, with every minute, grew more happy and excited. "You are lucky," sighed the wax doll. "Tell us about this house you are in," said the walking doll. "Yes, tell us. Then I can think about it when I lie with my eyes shut in my box. I can think and pretend. Tell, Toddy, tell us." All the dolls took up the cry, "Tell us, Toddy, tell." Toddy had always thought it better not to talk about the house in front of Marchpane, but now she was so excited and happy herself and so sorry for the other dolls that she forgot to take care. She began to tell about the doll's house. She told them about its cream walls and the ivy and Darner's kennel. She told them about the red hall and the setting room and the holly green carpet and the struggle to get the chairs, though she did not tell that she had thought that she herself had been sold to get them. She told about the rooms upstairs and the pink and blue carpets and the bath with its taps, and she told about Bertie and Mr. Plantagenet and Darner and Apple. She told them from the beginning to the end, from the bottom to the top. When she had done, there was a long, soft silence, and then ahs and sighs from the dolls. If only, I wish, it might have been, I wish, if only, oh, lucky, lucky Toddy. Oh, Toddy, you are so lucky. Don't you believe her, cried Marchpane in a loud voice. That isn't her house, it's mine. All the dolls looked at Marchpane, then all looked at Toddy. It is in our nursery now, said Toddy. You stole it while I was at the cleaners. It was sent to us as you were sent to the cleaners. It needed cleaning and taking care of, said Toddy. We cleaned it and took care of it. How dare you, cried Marchpane. You think because the Queen noticed you, you can do anything? Wait and see, cried Marchpane. I shall have that house back. How can you, asked Toddy. It's in our nursery. Wait and see, said Marchpane. Wait and see. The exhibition was closed. The dolls had been taken away. The room was empty, and when the caretaker's child came in the evening, there were only long blank tables where Toddy and Marchpane and Queen Victoria's dolls and the walking doll and the wax doll and the other dolls had been. Did the caretaker's child think of the wax doll? And the wax doll in her lonely box think of the caretaker's child? And of the finger that had touched her satin dress? Did the dolls think of Toddy's welcome home by Emily, Charlotte, Bertie, Mr. Plantagenet, Apple, and Darner? I think they did. Chapter 13. It was winter when Toddy came back to the doll's house. If you would like to know how winter looks to a doll, imagine yourself as looking into a crystal ball, a ball of glass, in which a Christmas frost snowstorm has been shaken down on little splinter trees and cardboard houses. Children were given those snowstorm balls when great Aunt Laura and Emily and Charlotte's great-grandmother were young. Winter looks like that to the dolls because they are not often taken out in the winter, and they see the snow and snowflakes through the window panes of glass. Toddy came back and it was winter, but so far there was no snow. Emily and Charlotte took her with them when they went to Mrs. Innisfree's house to fetch the couch and chairs. Toddy ought to go because it was Toddy who really got the chairs for us, said Emily. Are the couch and chairs really coming, Toddy? Asked Mr. Plantagenet. We have been wishing and wishing. I have never really stopped wishing, and said Mr. Plantagenet. But it was you who got them for us, Toddy, he said. Dear Toddy, but I should have been quite content with cotton reels, said Bertie. Oh, Bertie dear, said Mr. Plantagenet impatiently. Sometimes he found it hard to be patient with Bertie. Apple was not there. He had a plan, unknown to Toddy, that he might climb up to the doll's house chimney. He thought he might climb up the ivy. It looked so real, but of course it was painted too flat and the paint was far too slippery. Emily made Toddy a cotton wool cap and a cotton wool muff to go out in, as it was beginning to be bitterly cold. "But we are cozy in the doll's house," said Mr. Plantagenet. The whiteness of the cotton wool looked pretty with Toddy's glossy black hair and painted cheeks. She shone with happiness. Bertie did not want a cap or a muff. She wanted a feather boa. "What's a boa?" asked Apple, forgetting the ivy. "It's a long scarf made out of feathers, and it is round all the way down," explained Toddy. "Like a caterpillar?" asked Apple, who had seen a caterpillar in the park. "Yes, a caterpillar would make a very good boa for Bertie." "If it were made out of feathers," said Bertie, "but it's not." Toddy was carried along to Mrs. Innisfree's on the palm of Charlotte's hand. Charlotte had on a red woolen glove. Toddy had on her red woolen cloak, her cap and muff. They all went well together. It was a clear, pale, cold, sunny day. The bare branches of the trees in the park stood out against the clear, pale sky. The cold touched Toddy's cheeks, and the sunlight made them glisten. Emily and Charlotte were talking of Christmas, and Toddy was suddenly reminded of a little sunshade, a parasol, not made like the walking doll's parasol from satin, but out of paper from a cracker. "I saw one long ago," said Toddy. "It was gay as a little paper wheel. How Bertie would love that," thought Toddy. "How I should like to give her one for Christmas. She would like it better than the feather boa, but you don't see them nowadays." "I wish," said Toddy, sitting on Charlotte's hand. And for Apple, a marble. A marble would make him a good ball. And for Darner, a tiddlywinks plate, a nice big purple one. And for Mr. Plantagenet, I wish they would think of getting him a toy post office, thought Toddy. Then he could go to business. If he went to business every day, he would be very happy. I wish and wish they would get him a toy post office. When they arrived in Mrs. Innisfree's house, Toddy forgot even about Christmas and Christmas presents. There on the table in Mrs. Innisfree's drawing room were the couch and chairs. Emily did not recognize them. Charlotte did not recognize them. Toddy did not recognize them. Their wood, having been carefully sandpapered, had been polished by Mrs. Innisfree's French polisher until it shone with a real furniture dark wood shine of its own. Then the pettipoint seats and arms and back had been fastened over new cushions. Mrs. Innisfree had worked the cream background with the tiny roses and leaves. She had even worked their shadings, though the flowers were scarcely bigger than knots or dots. "Oh," cried Emily. "Oh," cried Charlotte. "Oh," cried Toddy. "Oh, it was worth going to the exhibition." "Even the Queen's dollhouse," said Emily, "hasn't a better set than that." "Yes, that is perfectly right," said Toddy. She felt now she knew something about queens. Mrs. Innisfree put down on the table 2 pairs of fine white lace curtains, each curtain 6 inches long. "I saw the piece of lace," she said. "It was the right width and just the right length. And there is a piece 3 inches over, so I made an apron for Toddy. Do you see, Emily? The lace is worked with ferns. Your great-grandmother's drawing room might easily have had lace curtains worked with ferns. They were very fashionable then." "We shall keep them always. We shall never change them," said Emily solemnly, "nor will our children's children." "Do you suppose Toddy will see them?" asked Charlotte. "I mean our children's children, not the chairs." "She may," said Emily. "That makes me think," said Charlotte, and she added, I seem to have been thinking a great deal of thinking lately." It was a solemn morning. Mrs. Innisfree and Emily did an account, and it seemed that the cost of the lace curtains of Mrs. Innisfree's French polisher and upholsterer, and all the silks and canvas for the chairs came to 8 and 10 pence, which was just the amount of money they had in their money boxes, though Charlotte now had the 6 pence for her tooth, and Emily had saved another half-crown. "I believe you are saying 8 and 10 pence," said Emily, looking hard at Mrs. Innisfree. "Because you knew it was 8 and 10 pence that we had," said Emily. "And if I am," said Mrs. Innisfree, "if I enjoy it." "And we can pay you for the time," said Charlotte. And we can't pay you for the time." I've lost my place. "And we can't pay you for your time," said Charlotte, "nor for the thinking." "I wonder what makes thinking," said Charlotte. "It is funny how one thing begins another, and how it all leads on," said Emily. "Yes, it joins," said Charlotte, wrinkling her forehead. "I have been thinking and thinking, and there is no knowing where it leads to, or when it will end, or where." Chapter 14. On Christmas morning, the Plantagenets worked to hear real carol singers in the street outside. "Peace and goodwill among men," sang the carol singers. "And amongst dolls," said Mr. Plantagenet. "I hope among dolls." Peace and goodwill. The voices brought Christmas into the doll's house. "Can such a large thing as Christmas be in a doll's house?" asked Mr. Plantagenet. "It is so large. See, it is spread over the whole world, and for so many years, nearly 2,000 years," said Mr. Plantagenet, the dark brown of his eyes looking large too. "How large is it?" said Mr. Plantagenet. "It is beautifully small too," said Toddy, "perfectly small. You might think that to a doll many things would seem too large, but no, a doll is not as small as a beetle, for instance, and a beetle's world is just right for a beetle. When, too, you have lived as long as Toddy, you will learn that small things are not as small as they seem, nor large things as large. Nothing is small and nothing is large when you have become accustomed to the world." Now the carols brought the spirit of Christmas into the doll's house. "I like peace and goodwill," said Toddy. "I like the holly and the ivy," said Mr. Plantagenet. "They are like the colors in this house. I like Prince of Peace. That suits it too." "I know about peace now," said Mr. Plantagenet. "In the days of the toy cupboard," he began, and his eyes looked darker, and he did not go on. "Yes, I like the Prince of Peace, but the one that I like best of all is God bless the master of this house, because I am the master," said Mr. Plantagenet. Bertie liked the rocking carols, only she mixed it with Rock-a-Bye Baby, but after all, it was nearly the same thing. "Peace and goodwill," sang the carolers again. The doll's house that Christmas looked very pleasant. Emily and Charlotte had decorated it. They made wreaths of moss on curtain rings that looked like holly wreaths, and they had strung holly berries for garlands. Emily had even made a paper chain with very small links. Bertie liked the paper chain best of anything. The new chairs and couch looked handsome in the drawing room, and there was a Christmas tree 6 inches high, standing in a wooden pot. It was the kind of Christmas tree you have on Christmas cakes. It was just right for the Plantagenets. "Would you like to give one of the Plantagenets this for Christmas?" asked the children's mother, coming into the room. "I must have had it at a party long ago." She showed them a parasol made of white paper, printed with a pattern of purple and scarlet feathers. It could be put up and down, and had once fitted into a cracker. "Oh, for Bertie!" cried Emily at once. "How odd," thought Toddy. "How lovely and how odd." "And for Apple, a marble. Wouldn't a marble make a ball for Apple?" More and more odd, thought Toddy, and still more lovely. Darner might have a new plate, said Charlotte, looking into the toy cupboard. This big tiddlywinks would do. The rest are all lost. It's a purple one that would suit him nicely. More and more odd, thought Toddy again, and more lovely. For Mr. Plantagenet, they hung a buttonhole on the tree. It was made of woolen flowers. I don't much like that, thought Toddy. Mr. Plantagenet did not like it either. Is my Christmas spoiled? He whispered to Toddy. No, said Toddy, but I wish I could make it better. I wish that too, said Mr. Plantagenet. He suspected it was spoiled. At that moment, the postman's knock sounded from the front door. Emily and Charlotte ran to open it. He had brought 2 parcels, a light thin one, the shape of a flat cardboard box, and a small one, the shape of a child's shoebox. It was very heavy. Emily opened the flat light one first. What is it? Asked Charlotte. What is it? Oh, she cried as Emily set up a cardboard counter painted with netting. Oh, it's a post office, a toy post office. Oh, cried Toddy, and she caught Mr. Plantagenet's eye. Look at the stamps, said Emily, and the stamper. Let me look at the stamps, cried Mr. Plantagenet. Let me look at the stamper, cried Apple. The toy post office was complete. It even had 2 letter boxes labeled packets and newspapers and letters. It had stamps and certificates and postal orders and telegraph forms and letter paper and postcards and stamped envelopes. It had a red tin telephone and a purple ink pad for the stamper. But what shall we do with it exactly? Asked Charlotte. We can tell you, wished Toddy and Mr. Plantagenet together, and Emily, as if she had felt them wishing, looked at them. Then she looked only at Mr. Plantagenet. I know, said Emily slowly. I know, Charlotte. It shall be Mr. Plantagenet's office. He shall go there to business every day. Has a postmaster, said Emily. A postmaster, said Mr. Plantagenet, and his waistcoat seemed to swell and grow bigger. Did you hear, Toddy? I'm a postmaster. Did you hear, Bertie dear? Now I have nothing left to wish for. Did you hear, Apple? Oh, how happy I am. Did you hear? He was about to say, did you hear, Darner, when he remembered that Darner was a dog and could not be expected to recognize the difference between Mr. Plantagenet, postmaster, and plain Mr. Plantagenet. He stopped. His attention was caught by Darner. Darner was looking at the other parcel. All his wool stood on end. Prick, said Darner at the parcel. Prick, 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 prick. Uh-oh, what's in that package? We'll have to find out in the next chapter.